Chapter 2, Lord Amic's Acquisition. Within the grandeur of his mansion's study, Lord Amic Ravencroft's frustration simmered beneath a veneer of composed elegance. Before him stood a group of individuals, the best of his expeditionary team, yet their faces bore the weight of their failure.
You disappoint me.
His voice dripped with barely restrained anger, his eyes flashing like stormy clouds illuminated by lightning. His gaze swept over the assemblage. Their heads lowered in deference, their expressions a mix of shame and trepidation. The gem had become an obsession, a symbol of power that had evaded his grasp for too long. Each failure was a thorn in his side, a reminder that even his unparalleled influence had its limits.
Tell me, what went wrong this time?
His words were a cold, biting whip. A man shrouded in the dark attire of a master thief stepped forward. His voice was apologetic yet tinged with a trace of defiance.
My lord, we followed every lead, infiltrated countless networks, but the gem remains hidden.
Lord Amic's fingers clenched into fists, his jaw set in a tense line.
Hidden? It's been said that the gem's presence illuminates even the deepest shadows. How is it that a group of skilled operatives failed to locate it?
The thief's gaze lowered, his voice barely above a whisper.
There are rumors, my lord. Whispers of guardians, defenders who protect the gem with unwavering determination.
Guardians?
Lord Amic's tone was laced with incredulity.
You mean to tell me that a band of amateurs has thwarted my plans?
The room seemed to shiver under the weight of his anger. The thief's shoulders sagged, a mixture of guilt and resignation in his eyes.
It seems that may be the case, my lord.
Lord Amic turned away, his fingers trailing over the surface of a gem-encrusted case. His frustration burned like a fire within him, a fire that had fueled his relentless pursuit for centuries. The Starlit Tear was more than just a prize, it was the means to undo the curse that had transformed him into an immortal creature bound by darkness. His mind raced with a mixture of resentment and determination.
If these guardians are the key to protecting the gem, then they shall be the key to obtaining it as well.
His voice was a chilling promise, a declaration of intent that sent a shiver down the spine of those who listened. The expeditionary team exchanged uneasy glances, the gravity of their failure weighing heavily upon them.
Go!
Lord Amic's voice was a quiet command, his eyes aflame with a cold intensity.
Regroup, gather intelligence, and find a way to break through their defenses. The Starlit Tear will be mine.
Lord Amic paced the study as the group dispersed, his thoughts swirling like a tempest. The Guardians were an unexpected hurdle, a force that had materialized seemingly out of thin air to thwart his ambitions. But he was not one to be deterred by mere obstacles. He had faced countless challenges over his long existence, and each time he had emerged victorious. With a wave of his hand, he summoned a mirror that hung on the wall. The surface rippled with dark energy, revealing an image of the city beyond his mansion's walls. Darkhaven, a city steeped in darkness and ruled by his iron fist, lay spread out before him. The streets were shrouded in perpetual night, a testament to his dominion over both light and shadow, a conquest that had taken him decades. But the Starlit Tear held the promise of more power, the ability to amplify his control over the forces that shaped the city. He had long believed that the gem's light could be harnessed to bolster his magic, to cement his dominance over the realm of shadows. His fingers traced the outline of the gem-encrusted case, his thoughts consumed by visions of what could be. The Starlit Tear had become an obsession, a beacon that drew him ever closer to his ultimate desire. In his pursuit of power, he had forged alliances with dark and forbidden forces, delving into magics that twisted the very fabric of reality. He had sacrificed lives, manipulated destinies, and embraced the darkest corners of his own soul to achieve his goals. And now, with the Guardians standing in his way, he would do whatever it took to break their resolve and claim the gem for himself. As he gazed into the mirror, a sinister smile curved his lips. The city of Darkhaven was a canvas awaiting his masterstroke. A realm where his desires could be fulfilled without limit. He would uncover the Guardians' weaknesses, exploit their vulnerabilities, and tear down every barrier they had erected to protect the Starlit Tear. His eyes gleamed with an unholy fervor as he envisioned the future he would shape. The Guardians were merely pawns in his grand design, obstacles to be overcome, and he relished the challenge they presented. With a final glance at the mirror, he turned away, his steps resolute as he set his plans into motion. Weeks passed, and the expeditionary team labored tirelessly to uncover any trace of the Guardians' whereabouts. It was Galen, Lord Amic Ravencroft's second-in-command, who finally emerged with a lead. His scarred face bore a stern expression, his wits as sharp as ever. Galen had brought with him 2 adepts in the art of sorcery, whose abilities would be crucial to their plans. The dimly lit chamber, adorned with ancient tomes and arcane artifacts, awaited Galen's arrival. As the heavy doors creaked open, Galen strode in, his presence commanding the room's attention. Clad in a tailored ensemble of dark silks and leathers, his attire exuded an air of authority. Lord Amic Ravencroft, seated upon a darkened throne, raised an eyebrow as he regarded his second-in-command.
Galen.
Galen's gaze met his lord's, his eyes gleaming with a focused intensity.
My lord.
He began, his voice carrying an air of gravitas.
I followed the trail left by the Guardians, their steps leading me to a convergence of realms. It is there that the Starlit Tear's presence lingers.
Amic's fingers steepled together, his expression one of intrigue.
A convergence of realms?
He mused.
A most intriguing revelation, Galen.
Galen nodded, acknowledging the weight of the information he bore.
Indeed, my lord. It appears that the Guardian's purpose was not merely to protect the gem, but to ensure its presence acts as a bridge between worlds.
Amic leaned forward, his gaze never leaving Galen's scarred visage.
And this bridge leads to what, exactly?
Galen's gaze held steady, unwavering in the face of his lord's scrutiny.
To power, my lord. The Guardian's steps have marked a path through the ethereal boundaries, and it is through this path that we shall claim the Starlit Tear.
A slow smile crept across Amic's lips, his excitement barely contained.
Power indeed, Galen. You have done well to uncover this knowledge. With the Starlit Tear within our grasp, the time to act is upon us.
Galen inclined his head, a sign of deference to his lord's words.
The adepts I've brought possess the abilities needed to navigate the convergence safely. Their magic will ensure that we access the Starlit Tear without succumbing to the dangers of the realm's overlapping energies.
Amic's eyes glinted with approval.
Then let us waste no time. Take me to where this convergence lies.
Galen's features remained stoic, a mask of loyalty and determination.
As you command, my lord.
Galen gestured for Amic to follow. They left the study, making their way through the mansion's dimly lit corridors and out into the city. The air was heavy with anticipation as they descended into the depths of Darkhaven, the city's shadows seeming to envelop them. Beneath the city, through a series of winding passages, they arrived at a chamber that seemed untouched by time. In the center of the room lay an ancient portal, its edges pulsating with a soft, ethereal light. Selena and Kale stood nearby, their expressions a mix of anticipation and concentration. Selena, with her dark hair and piercing eyes, held a staff adorned with intricate runes. Kale, a tall and imposing figure, carried a tome bound in leather and silver. Together, they radiated an aura of arcane power. Galen turned to Amic.
My lord, with the combined skills of Selena and Kale, we have prepared a ritual that will open the portal and lead us to the heart of the hidden realm where the Starlit Tear is rumored to be.
Amic regarded them with a mixture of curiosity and impatience.
Very well, proceed with the ritual.
Selena and Kale stepped forward, their movements deliberate and synchronized. With a graceful motion of her staff, Selena traced a complex pattern in the air, while Kale's deep voice resonated with incantations from the ancient tome. The portal's light began to intensify, casting an otherworldly glow that danced across their faces. As the portal stabilized, a shimmering gateway emerged, revealing a passage that seemed to transcend space and time. The air around it crackled with energy, inviting Amic and Galen to step through into the unknown. Galen turned to Amic with a hint of excitement.
My lord, the path is clear. Shall we proceed?
Amic's gaze fixed on the portal, his anticipation growing.
Lead the way.
With a confident nod, Galen stepped through the portal, Amic following closely behind. The sensation was disorienting, a surge of energy enveloping them as they traversed the boundary between worlds. When they emerged on the other side, they found themselves in a vast, underground chamber illuminated by a soft, ambient light. At the heart of the chamber lay a pedestal, upon which rested the Starlit Tear. The gem's brilliance was mesmerizing, casting intricate patterns of light across the chamber's walls. Amic's heart quickened at the sight, his fingers tingling with the desire to claim the gem that had eluded him for so long. As they approached the pedestal, a chorus of voices echoed through the chamber, reverberating with an ancient power. Suddenly, portals of light materialized around them, and figures clad in celestial attire emerged. These were the Guardians, their presence a testament to their dedication to protect the Starlit Tear. The lead Guardian, a figure of ethereal beauty, stepped forward. Their voice resonated with a harmonious blend of voices, ancient and timeless.
You have trespassed upon sacred ground, mortal. The Starlit Tear shall remain under our protection.
Amic's eyes narrowed, his determination unwavering.
Step aside, Guardians. The gem's power belongs to me.
The Guardians' response was swift and coordinated. Spears of light materialized in their hands, hurled with precision and blinding speed. Amic and Galen barely managed to evade the onslaught, conjuring protective shields of magic to ward off the searing projectiles. Amidst the chaos, Amic's gaze locked onto the Starlit Tear, its radiance seeming to pulse with a life of its own. A realization dawned upon him: the gem's power was the source of the Guardian's strength. If he could harness that power, he could overcome them. Galen's voice rang out, his urgency evident.
My lord, we must encase the gem in shadow. It's the only way to defeat them.
Amic nodded, his mind racing. Drawing upon his mastery of shadow magic, he cast a spell that cloaked the gem in darkness, dimming its brilliance and severing the Guardian's connection to its power. The chamber's ambient light waned, leaving only the Guardian's celestial radiance. Freed from the gem's influence, Amic and Galen fought back with renewed vigor. Blasts of shadow and energy collided with the Guardian's light-based attacks, creating dazzling displays of magic and power. Closing in, the Guardians summoned swords of light, engaging Amic and Galen in close combat. Blow after blow was exchanged, the chamber reverberating with the clash of opposing forces. Amic's focus was unrelenting, his determination to claim the gem driving him forward. He could feel the weight of centuries of darkness and desire behind every strike. As the battle raged on, the Guardians' numbers began to dwindle. One by one, they fell before Amic's relentless onslaught. Their celestial forms flickered and faded, their voices silenced. Until, at last, only the lead Guardian remained. Amic faced them, his chest heaving, his magic crackling with energy. The lead Guardian's voice resonated once more, booming with a blend of voices. Amic froze, listening intently to the Guardian's words.
You may have defeated us, mortal, but the Starlit Tear's power is not so easily wielded. Beware the darkness you seek to embrace.
With those final words, the lead Guardian's form dissolved into a cascade of light, leaving only a lingering echo. The chamber fell silent, the only remnants of the battle being the scorch marks on the walls and the gem that lay encased in shadow. Amic's breathing was deep as he turned to Galen, who stood by his side, his expression a mix of awe and reverence. The gem's power was finally his, its brilliance dimmed by the darkness he had summoned. The battle had been fierce, but the rewards were worth it. Galen's scarred lips curved into a grin.
My lord, the Starlit Tear is yours to command.
Amic approached the pedestal where the Starlit Tear lay encased in shadow. With a wave of his hand, the shadows subsided, revealing the gem's brilliant light. Amic's fingers brushed the surface of the gem, a surge of satisfaction coursing through him. The gem held the promise of power beyond imagination, and with it, he could reshape Darkhaven according to his desires. As they left the chamber, Amic's mind buzzed with possibilities. The Guardians had been defeated, and the gem was finally within his grasp. With its power, he could achieve his goals and establish dominion over the shadows that had long embraced Darkhaven. Galen walked beside him, a loyal companion in their quest for power. The journey ahead was fraught with challenges, but Amic's determination remained unshaken. With the Starlit Tear in his possession, Lord Amic Ravencroft was prepared to wield the gem's power, and seize control of the destiny ahead.